And welcome back to the show. Well, listeners, now we're going to take a very special guest on the show. We're going to chat to Anton from Quantum about an album that is one of the most eagerly anticipated albums in the alternative music scene this year. This brand new album called Down The Mountainside is an album that we know a lot of you have been looking forward to for quite a while now. So we're very, very pleased to have Anton on the phone right now to chat about this album. Welcome to the program, mate.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Now, Anton, how did you guys feel with this album coming out? Because, of course, this was, as like I said, is one of the most eagerly anticipated albums of this year. How did you guys feel with the album coming out? Because I'm guessing you had this music recorded for a fair while before the album actually dropped.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time coming. It feels really good to finally let people hear it. The master for this album, the master was done late 2022, and we finished recording in March 2022. So I mean, and even before that, some of the songs we've been playing live since like 2018.
Yeah.
So it's a long time coming. So yeah, it feels really good to have it out, and it feels great to hear all the great response that we've been getting for it, all the great reviews and stuff.
So talking of those responses, a lot of people have called this album a masterpiece. How does that sit with you?
Well, I mean, of course, that's wonderful to feel that way. It feels really validating. So yeah.
So, of course, the band formed in 2016, and then, of course, in 2020, your EP came out that just blew everybody away. Did you guys feel a little bit of pressure when you first sat down to work on the tracks for this album?
I don't think so, really. I mean, we had a lot of it down right away. When we released the EP, quite of the, standout tracks on this album, like, we had all... On the Verge was almost finished recording. Like, we had recorded drums and bass for it already. And we quite immediately recorded Moths and Leaves and Hiveman the Cockroach. And we feel like those three tracks are really strong. We are almost the last stone done already. So a lot of it was kind of done. And we felt really strongly about these. So it was just getting the rest of it. And we had some stuff that we could work on. And I think a lot of it came together. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were confident that the material is strong, strong enough to follow up. So.
Aside from being so strong, had you guys talked about kind of what direction you wanted to go in for your debut album? Like, were there different things, like different goals or anything like that you guys had talked about wanting to achieve with this album?
I mean, not really in that way, but that we've talked about outspoken. But I think, like I said, we had those three tracks or the four tracks basically done. And we felt, I mean, I guess we have a lot of things that are kind of constantly being worked on by the band. Like, we're constantly working on new stuff. And when picking songs for which songs do we work on to make this new album, we picked the ones that musically fit together with the rest of the four, so that we can have a musically coherent sounding album. So that's something we did discuss, but we weren't really like, okay, let's write songs that sound like this. We were never having any discussions like that.
Yep. It's a very, very lyrically deep album. What were some of the themes that you found yourself exploring lyrically when you were working on the album?
Well, I mean, there's one theme that's kind of, it wasn't a conscious thing, but it just ended up being something that a lot of songs were about. It's about what I like to call masks, or what, like, kind of alter egos that people kind of that we wear in different situations, when at work or in personal relationships or whatever, and how to say, putting yourself aside for this alter ego can sort of when pushing yourself aside can it can really be hard. it can be hard on you, and eventually some people maybe you break down or you explode, and it leads to you not feeling very well. And a lot of the songs are about those things. That's I suppose exploring human nature, kind of the dark sides of it, I suppose.
What was it that drew you to that topic? Was there something that happened in your personal life, or was there something that you read about that kind of led you to wanting to explore that theme?
I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, for example, a song like "On the Verge," it's about basically I read that. I mean, the statistic, we all know someone who's going to be a domestic abuser, right? Like, who's going to commit domestic violence. And I started thinking about who do I know who is that person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, what do I tell that person before it happens? What would I tell him after it happened? And I sort of started writing the story about this guy who's, always being too nice. And then he bottles up on all his emotions, and then eventually it kind of like explodes and lashes out on his kid or his partner or whatever. And I think that's something. Then it was something I was told something. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And other things. I mean, it's just things you think about. Song like Abstract Bliss is about when being around people who have unhealthy relationships with alcohol. And I mean, I know probably a lot of us know quite a few people like that, and how they're kind of hiding behind their intoxicated self, and how it can be quite hard to be close to someone like that. So it's some parts of it is self-experience, and some things are more like things I'm thinking about. It's a mixture of a lot of things.
Do you think a lot of people out there will listen to the lyrics on this album and kind of reflect on people in their own life, or maybe even their own behaviors as well?
Well, hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a lot of people won't even reflect on the lyrics at all and just listen to the music, and that's fine as well. But if you do listen to the lyrics, then yes, I hope that at least there's some reflection.
You mentioned about these songs being played live and that they've been well received live. Tell us a little bit about that for you, playing the tracks off the new album live. How has that felt for you?
I mean, when it comes to before releasing the album, I mean, that's the reason why we picked them to be recorded in the first, because these songs, they really fly when you play them live, and they feel great to play live for people. Now when it's released, it feels great to see, oh well, here's the song of the new album, and people can actually go and listen to it. So it's a great feeling to play. There's a lot of energy in these tracks. You can kind of feel the adrenaline rising in the audience when you play them, which is fantastic, I think.
Yeah, you talked about an energy, but one of the things that really hit me about this album was how many different genres are kind of heard on this album in a sense as well. You guys seem to be able to blend different genres together so easily. When you're doing that, are you aware of that, or do these tracks just come together very organically and evolve that way as you're writing them?
I think a lot of it kind of happens organically. I mean, I think when I write music, I write a lot of the songs, and I think I try to not think so much about it. I try to write the next part as what I think intuitively should come next. And I think I played obviously rock and metal, but I've also played a lot of jazz. I'm trained as a professional double bass player in classical music. So I've played a lot of different types of music, and all of that kind of bleeds into the stuff I write. And most of it, I would say, just comes from that, from just kind of letting it seep in. And really, it's not even, so.
That's amazing. Your classical background, how do you feel that that's enhanced your music as well? Because it has that feeling when you listen to the album. Do you feel that being classically trained has actually enhanced what we hear with Quantum's music?
Well, I think partly yes. I mean, one thing that's I think when you play a symphony or you listen to a symphony, is that there's this doing a long song is not a big deal in that genre. Like it's not a big deal to write. I mean, a symphony is usually 40 minutes and it consists of 4 movements, which means an average length of 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't feel like they're kind of trying to build, like they're not trying hard to make it long. It's just the amount of time that the music takes to breathe. And I think it has given me a lot of, first of all, tools. Being classically trained, I know all the, like when I'm trying to I know like these 2 parts belong together, but I don't know how to put them together. I have a couple of tools so I can put them together, like modulations and tempo change and stuff. And the other thing is that, I mean, when it comes to the structure of the music and making a structure that works dynamically, it's there's a lot of that. I mean, that comes more naturally if you played more music that's built that way in the first place. So I think that's definitely something. And also being more, because it's always when I'm playing something or I'm listening to something in the classical genre, I always feel like, there's some chord change. What is going on there?
Yeah.
What's that chord change? And I also remember it and I check the score and I kind of write, okay, that's great. I'll keep that in my toolbox.
Yeah.
Or I hear something that's really cool. Oh, that's amazing. And of course, the beauty with the classical music is that most of it is public domain that we play. So no one can blame me if I nick something.
Awesome. Well, mate, you've also got some brilliant guests on this album as well, in Richard Henshaw and Tom McLean. How did that happen? Like, was there something that made you want to invite them to be part of the album, and what was it like getting them involved with this album?
Well, I mean, it really comes from the fact that when we did the EP, the mastering was done by Tom McLean. So we know him and we keep in touch with him. So we when we had most of Moths and Leaves down, we sent it over to him, like, how would you like to play on this? And he said, yeah, I'd love to. And then I think when we had Hiveman and the Cockroach, that solo which Richard did, we just thought, okay, let's have, because there's this crazy improvisational part in the end. Like, okay, who do we know can like really take this up a notch and make it really crazy? And I mean, I think we asked Richard, like, one of the, I don't know if like one of the guys we asked was Richard, and he said he did it. So yeah, it wasn't really. We just wanted someone to take it to another level of craziness at the end, and he did. So it was great.
He sure did. Well, Anton, we are running out of time very, very quickly, but to finish off, I had 2 quick questions. First of all, what have you got in the way for your fans for the rest of this year as a band? Are you looking to get out there and do more shows? Is there a chance of an Australian tour in the not too distant future? Or what's going on for the future of the band now that the album is out?
Well, I mean, one of the things that we are doing is we're planning the live part of it. We have some stuff in the pipeline when it comes to live shows. We will see where we end up. We're not sure yet, but hopefully we'll be able to make it to as many places as possible. Hopefully Australia. We'll see. And the other thing that we are doing is that, I mean, we've already got new material that we're working on. So that's the other thing that we're doing, is to always write new stuff. And so, yeah.
Awesome.
That's what's in store.
Well, awesome. Well, we cannot wait to hear that. But to finish off the interview, what would you like to say to people out there who are about to sit down and take a listen to Down the Mountainside for the first time?
Well, I mean, sit down, make yourself comfortable, keep your mind open, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.